Hello, beloved.
That makes me terribly uncomfortable, and now I'm glad I am wearing a shirt because if you had said that,
With no shirts.
I would feel very I would feel very uncomfortable right now. So it's yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Batman the Fan-imated stream. I am, of course, Dave the Film Junkie. Thank you guys for joining. With me, as always, Mr. Scott McClellan. What is going on, sir?
We're just watching some amazing Batman. I do, however, before we get started into the
I
episode,
see it.
I know you need to pull that
Boop.
up.
Look at that.
Oh, I pre-ordered this.
Oh, of course you did.
I'm gonna show you some of the pictures, but yeah, this is a Target exclusive. McFarlane, this is the opening sequence. Like that's the whole idea. Like they did this last year with McFarlane's Batman Year 2, and that was kind of a cluster. I know with the ordering for that, but here's the box.
Nice.
I mean, he comes with a grappling gun. He comes with a batarang. He also comes with different hands, so you can actually hold things. The stand, but the background is the
buildings.
The buildings. Oh, and by the way, you get batteries and the lightning lights up.
Ooh, I like that. I saw that. Yeah, you said press to light up. It does, however, look like he skipped leg day a little bit, though.
Yeah. No, and that and to the credit of the people who want to criticize this is just like both the McFarlane animated series Batman and the animated series Superman. They were like all
top heavy,
chests.
Yeah, I know.
Very top heavy. But so I never bought the individual Batman the animated series figure, but when I saw the whole opening title sequence set up, I was
perfect.
No, check, please.
Check. Yep,
shut up.
Got
take
it.
my money. And no,
yeah,
I'm
put it in the cart. Put it in the cart. But we're here to talk about the Demon's Quest Part 2. And let's say hi to some people here. What's going on, Ryan? We got Pretty Fly for a Filipino guy. Hey, hello there, Miss Steph. How you doing, Miss Nighthawk? Space Mutant, cheers to you. And thank you, Pretty Fly for a White Guy. I love every minute of Friday's Vodka stream. From the heated debates between Ray and Enosh to the Superman tangent, one of the best. Yeah, well, maybe second to Scott getting drunk.
Oh yeah, nothing's gonna beat me getting drunk.
No, but it came close when it came to that the clip of when you were saying like Travis, with the wife beater, and it had his wife.
Oh my god.
That was so perfect. And then just to have Anthony there with his big, huge laugh, that just made it so much better because I love Anthony's laugh so much. Yeah.
Oh, when Anthony gets tickled, it is just pure bottled joy.
Yes. And it's so infectious. So infectious. So yeah. So it was just perfect. And I'm glad that Travis clipped it out and posted that too. So if you guys didn't see it, I would check the Twitter because it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was showing some people and we were all having a good time with that. So let's see. We got Mr. Beard Jason. We got Venom. Good to see you guys. Hello. We got Miss Cat right here. We also got Mama Film Junkie.
Yay.
Had dinner with her tonight. So I got to see her, my aunt, and that's pretty much it. Up. There we go. We also got.
I was wondering where Eric was.
Yeah. It's exactly what I've been saying. Okay, stop using it. Apparently, it offends Eric right there. Jeez. It's just the term when it's called Eric. My God. Anyways, all right. But we're doing Demon.
I am just naturally offensive.
That's
it's
what
okay.
it is. I know. Stop it, Scott. Stop being so offensive. So offensive. I'm not gonna invite you on the panel anymore. Nah, just kidding. No, but Demon's Quest, man. I mean, we had fun talking about the first part of this story, and with Robin getting, I guess you could say, kidnapped, and then of course we got Raish, we got Talia, we got all the fixins for something good, and of course you talked about what the story was based off of. If you want to remind the kids out there.
Well, and once again, we have this weird issue where the two-parter is both parts are adapted from actual Denny O'Neil comics. However, we're talking about 2 issues that were published 12 issues apart. 12 issues
Yeah.
apart. So part 1, once again, was based on Batman number 232. This episode is a pretty faithful adaptation of Batman number 244, which was entitled The Demon Lives Again, which was, again, written by Denny O'Neil, art by Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. So, but to note, this episode, story by Denny O'Neil and Lynn Wein, and this episode was actually written by Lynn Wein. So once again, I love bringing up Lynn Wein because it's like co-creator of Wolverine, co-creator of Swamp Thing, big time comic writer, and this is his 3rd episode he's writing for the series. It just makes my heart happy.
Yeah. It makes that. Yeah,
man. I will never get over that.
Yeah, and it's a strong 2-parter. Like watching this one, with the other one, this one felt like, I mean, it was just like, I think we said it last week, when it's, it's one of those, what do you call that? Like when it's a globe scaling kind of story or whatever. Globe trotting. There you go. And then this, and then with this one, it feels, I mean, it's same thing, there's locations, but then at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it felt really like James Bondian to me, I guess you could say, a little bit more like
most definitely. Yeah. And also, did you notice, like, this episode moved at a clip?
Oh, it did. Mean,
this thing was over, and I went, "What? We're done?"
Yeah.
Like I was. I mean, it's not like I haven't seen this episode before, but even I was shocked. Like, this puppy moved, like, more so than any animated series episode we've watched, where I was like, I blinked and I felt the episode was over.
Because there's a lot that's happening here, because we're leaving off, we left off with, of course, Raish going into the Lazarus pit and then coming out and just losing his mind, laughing, hysterically, and just ha ha ha, just going nuts, holding up Talia. And you're just kind of going, what the hell's going to happen? So right off the bat, you just kind of go, all right, well, obviously Batman's going to do something.
And to your point, once again, what do we have? Just like part 1, no title card. And but even then, not only is it no title card, if you look behind the title, the titles on the screen, the camera is immediately already panning as soon as it comes up. And did you notice we didn't get a recap?
No, there's no, like, previously on Batman the Animated Series, there's nothing like that. It just starts off with, you're hearing the laugh, you're going, okay, and you're just going right into it. And I think that's what's so, like you were talking about, how it moves. There's a lot that's in this episode, but yeah, like you said, they were just like, let's waste no time. We don't need to do this. We don't need to, and then let's just go. And they really did.
I have always remembered, I discovered this, and I want to go ahead and preface our discussion with this, that I was surprised as I watched this episode, because it's been a minute probably since I've watched this particular episode. I remembered the beginning really well. I remember the end really well. I was shocked. The middle of the episode, I had some blanks to fill in for myself. Like the episodes got to surprise me all over again in some ways, because I'm like, why do I not remember the middle of this that well? But because the beginning, I always remember it so well, because we pick up where part 1 left off. Like you said, Raish has got Talia up above his head. I forgot how she got down. So, it was like, Batman,
ropes
grappling
thing.
Ropes her, pulls her back. But I always remember, as crazy Raish is walking over, there's just something that's always stuck with me, of Talia just walking up to him and just bitch slapping him to like snap him out.
I totally forgot about that. And I love that too, because she just walks up and just whoosh, and you see a flash and everything. I mean, it is a hard slap. And of course, it knocks him out of, out of this hysterics that he's in. And she even explains like how, like, what the chemicals do is rejuvenate somebody, somebody who goes into it. But you come out insane. You're just out. You're insane. Well, the chemicals have just really effed with your brain. And I guess it takes a good slap from a strong woman to just to knock you back to your senses, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just like, but that moment, I remember that was always such a well-written moment because it stuck with me like for these, 29 years since we watched this episode the first time.
Right.
But that I just always remembered that. And and of course you've got this supposed to be this really old guy, but there he is without a shirt on, which won't be the first time we don't see him without a shirt on.
He's jacked, man.
And he's jacked. He's like,
yeah, he's Batman jacked. I mean, he definitely is. And then, of course, he still wants Batman or Bruce to wed his daughter. But, of course, Bruce is like, no, I'm not going to do that. Are you kidding me? You're insane. You are an insane person. And then he just like goes, okay, Rachel goes, all right, fine. Well, see you later. We're going to, you're going to stay here. We're going to destroy this place. And because, we have other locations that we can utilize. We don't need this because even Talia is like, hey, what are you going to destroy this place? And they have like a whole other locations, specifically a desert location that they're going to go to. But of course, Batman and Robin, they're going to get out of the situation. But it takes a little bit of daredevilish stuff, like basically jumping down a mountain. Looked like fun.
Well, it's kind of funny because as the door is closing, I think this is the first time in the animated series we hear Talia call Batman beloved.
I think that was too. I don't think we saw it in the first. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So when she says goodbye, beloved, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm clocking it.
Yeah.
First time beloved is used in the animated series. And there's also a part of me that there are two separate shots from Batman and Robin escaping the Lazarus pit and the mountain that when the series in season 2 makes the transition to becoming a Saturday morning cartoon, and remember when they retitled it The Adventures of Batman and Robin instead of calling Batman the Animated Series, there's two shots from this part that ended up in the new because the opening title sequence turned into a clip montage. But there's two separate parts of this. There's the one where they're holding onto the rope and they're like, almost falling into the Lazarus pit. That's in that opening title sequence. And then if I remember correctly, when they climb up and they get out of the cave and then they're like on the mountain with the avalanche. Actually, when they get to that one like ledge and they jump off of it and like the camera goes back and they're like jumping towards the camera, that's actually how the opening title sequence for the Adventures of Batman and Robin ended, because they jumped towards the camera, it's cut to black.
I think you're right.
And that was the end of that credit sequence.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, which we'll be getting to those episodes, in a few weeks for sure. That's what's next, right? Like season 2, that's when they did the transition to that, right?
That's
actually, the third, huh?
No. It happened in the middle of season 2.
That's right. When you said when they transitioned to Saturday. Okay.
Right. It's a weird thing because because they started off and also because we're watching these in production order versus air date order. It's like I can tell you the first episode in season 2 that they aired on Saturday mornings and became The Adventures of Batman and Robin, but it won't necessarily fall that way in production order. But it was a weird thing because but also season 1 was so freaking long. We're gonna get like 65 episodes before we get to the end of season 1, and trust me, no seasons is as long as this.
No, this is what's great though. I mean, like, I know I remember when we were talking about the concept of this and I was starting to look at how we were gonna talk about these episodes. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's how season 1, how many episodes season 1 had, because you'd think like just in my whole memory, I was like, didn't Batman the Animated Series like spread over like 5 seasons or something like that? It just felt like because there's just so many episodes in season 1. But yeah, I think you're correct too when it comes to opening title sequence, which it's a cool little sequence because obviously they had to get out. They almost fall into the Lazarus pit. grabbing onto the rope. They get out, and then of course, hey, you're not out of the woods yet, or not out of the mountains yet, because you got some avalanche action happening. So yeah, so then of course they just jump down and kind of just like perfectly, because they slope perfectly where they can actually start sliding down the mountain. It just looked like fun to me.
Well, it looked cool, but then also, this is actually a situation where my suspension of disbelief is fine because, they're jumping off these high ledges, but they're also landing on probably like
fresh powder,
feet of fresh powder. So it's like you're breaking your fall basically. So
yeah. So I mean, it makes sense. And then what I really liked too was the fact that when they get to they're in Nepal and they're at Wayne Enterprises Nepal, and I love what Dick and Bruce are wearing. I just like it wasn't like a normal, like obviously they use like Dick, actually his hair was still messy. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. Well, because they're not on model.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that, later on we'll see a little bit more of like Bruce with the turtleneck.
Yeah.
Like that became a little bit more of like a season 3 thing. But it was kind of nice not seeing Dick in like the sweater vest.
The sweater vest and his hair perfectly slicked back. He still had the messy Robin hair, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I even wrote on here, did Dick shower? or is he still like a little dirty from being in his suit for a week? But yeah, I just really like that. And then of course they're just looking at, I mean, it's like exposition stuff that happens here, but again, this episode moves. So Bruce is looking in, they're looking at the term Orpheus, because that's what Robin heard when he was held captive. And he looked at it, and then basically he just figured out that, oh, okay, this is where the desert, what did he call it? The desert, whatever the fuck. I forgot what they called it, but
oh no, it's the Sahara.
Yeah, I know, but he referred it. Raish referred it as something. I knew I wrote it down somewhere.
He calls it his desert compound.
Yeah, or something. I thought he called it something else, but I don't know. And I do like. Oh yeah, I even wrote even before that too. Like when they were in the snow, and of course Robin has to make the quips, and he goes like, "I wish I wore my thermal tights." It's like, because it kind of makes you wonder. I'm like, oh, okay, they reference thermal tights, so that means, and those rainy days or those really cold Gotham nights, it's like, oh, there's a little bit more to the tights to keep some warmth in. It's not just a thin layer of fabric.
Well, it's really funny, but you mentioned that, because. But I've actually, this is going to be one of my Batman shames. I've actually never read the comic version of Nightfall, Knight's Quest, Knight's End.
What?
I know. Because instead of reading the actual comics, Denny O'Neil wrote a novelization back in the 90s. So you read that? And I read that, and there's a cool little detail he puts in there because when Bruce comes back after he's gotten his back healed, he's going to go face off with Jean-Paul Vallée. Yeah. He goes into Wayne Enterprises and he opens up like a vault and gets a costume, and he talks about how it's one of his summer costumes and how thin it is. So that it would breathe in the hot summer air. So yeah, I love the idea that they have like seasonal versions of their costumes.
But you wouldn't notice it unless you actually felt the fabric or something like that. Like there might be a little bit more thickness to it. So, but yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool that he mentioned that. A nice little quick. But yeah, so they of course find that they're just gonna go out to the they call it a stronghold. That's what it was. I have it written right there. A desert stronghold. Yeah, that's what he was saying. And then of course, Robin is flying the plane. Is it a plane or was it like no, it was a plane. And then
no, it was a plane.
Yeah. I was like, because I always forget because there's so many propellers on everything when it comes to this world. And I was like, wait, it was a plane. It wasn't a helicopter or a helicopter plane, whatever the hell they call that. But of course, Batman parachutes out of the plane again.
Gyrocopter. It's called a gyrocopter.
There you go. Man. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. And then this is where it's like, okay, it's James Bond Bondian, I guess you could say, because he's jumping out of a plane and going into this secret location where the bad guy is, and there's dudes with camels. And what does he do? He he's like in the shadows, and I love it when the dude's like looking out and you see him like within the shadows of like the hilly area right there. It's just a really cool little thing. And then of course he grabs him, knocks him out, takes his clothes. But it's just funny too, because he's still wearing Batman costume underneath that, even though it's like it's like, all right, well, as long as nobody like sees like this part right here, it's still, it doesn't look like a dude's face. But I just like this whole scene right here, because it is very much like, hey, gotta break into this compound.
Yeah, I have to admit though, it was kind of odd seeing Batman in costume in the desert. Like that was a little jarring. But there also was a part of me that when you listen to the musical score, which wasn't Shirley Walker for this episode, but you see the caravan and you hear the score, and I would be lying if there wasn't a little part of me going, Arabian Nights, like Arabian Days.
Oh yeah, they definitely injected some of that into the score, which is good. It makes sense. You got to put that little flavor in there when you're where you're at right there. So, but yeah, so he gets in there, and then of course we have Ubu, who's also in there. He's like, he sees Batman go off, and he goes like, what? I mean, of course, Batman does this disappearing act, and he's just like, what the hell? Because he like grabbed something, put it on his shoulder, went to like another location, and of course Ubu is like, hey, and then all of a sudden he's gone. But then of course Ubu ends up finding him, and then of course these two have just been going back and forth through the whole story.
It's so satisfying. But I will admit though, there was a part of me that when the rest of the gang, like when they gang up on Batman and capture him, I'm like, oh no, I've played the Arkham games. I've kicked the asses of twice as many bad guys. What's going on here, Batman?
Use the combos in this. I know you wish that he just took them all out, but sadly he does not. And they take his belt, and not only do they take his belt, they take his shirt. They rip his shirt off. So we get a half-naked Batman in this episode, like for like the rest of the freaking episode, which I thought was funny.
I know, but I appreciate the fact though, the reason they rip it, even though it was like just rip. Oh, that was easy. That it's like, his cape just held a panther in the last episode, but
right.
But the top of his tights are going to like crumple like tissue paper.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that Raish says, please take that, I forgot what he called it, but basically it was like, take that belt off him. And but unlike a lot of James Bond type sort of supervillains, it's like, would you please also check him for other things, because it is Batman we're talking about.
Yeah, it is. He knows very well. And then it's they wanted to take his cowl off, but then even Raish was like, no, that's like a mark of honor. He like respects that. Hey, this is who he is. This is who he's created. This is the warrior he is. Keep the cowl on. So, you would think like it's kind of ridiculous. Why wouldn't they take the cowl too? But no, Raish was like very much saying like, no, keep it on because it's a mark of honor, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh no, that was definitely a cool thing. And it kind of goes with sort of this old world culture that Raish, comes from. And I thought that was really, really neat. We're coming up though on a moment that was one of those moments that I was like, I forgot about.
So did I.
And it hit me really hard. And I was like, dude, this is a note.
Yeah.
Like I paused the episode and went, I'm writing this down.
Basically, like, is it when he's explaining his plan and they're showing like these shots of like the destruction and all this stuff?
No. Okay. No. So he's telling his plan. It's close to that, but no, I remember the plan. I remember it being told in like these black and white still shots,
which is cool.
That he's basically going to bathe the earth in the chemical, like in the Lazarus pit, chemicals. But it was the moment when Batman said, that will kill countless people. And the fact that David Warner just goes, actually, we have counted 2,056,986,000. And I'm like, hot damn.
Yeah, that was cool.
And like the way the camera moves, like the camera's doing like a 360 around him as he's like rattling off that insane number.
That
and
is
I'm just
evil.
like,
That is
dude.
evil right there. I didn't write down the number. I just put Raish knows the exact number of people that will die. Oh man, yeah, I was like blown away by that too. I was like, holy shit, did he just totally he knows exactly how many people are gonna die from that's insane. That is diabolical. As a Butcher would say, diabolical right there. The fact
no, I literally paused the episode and rewound it like 3 or 4 times so I could write down the exact number.
That's crazy.
Because I mean that went hard.
That
Dude,
did
that
hard.
went hard.
That did. That was like they didn't need to go that detailed, but I'm so glad that they did. But even like the whole thing, I mean, because he's talking about how they're dropping bombs in all the Lazarus pits that are just going to cause like this explosion, just spill it all over the place. And and again, even when they're showing the black and white still shots, that's also pretty like, holy shit, look at that. I mean, look at like the shots that they use. I thought that was really cool. Like I even paused on some of the shots that they were using in there, man. It was like, wow, I like it. So it's a good little scene. I mean, you want to talk about an evil scene right there where the bad guy is explaining to the good guy what he's doing. This one, that's a good rank right there. It's a good, it's up there. It's up there. And then,
well, this is going back to your idea, what you said earlier, how this felt like a James Bond movie to you. I mean, Raish is like the most Bond villain Batman has in his rogues gallery. This is, I'm taking over, like, I mean, this isn't even taking over the world. This is like wiping the world clean. Like it's almost like Drax in Moonraker. And I hate saying that because I think Moonraker is a terrible movie, but it's still kind of like the same kind of like, like the idea that someone's going to wipe the earth clean and kind of start all over again.
Yeah, no, I definitely know. And then Batman's just like, you're insane. You're just insane. You're an insane person. And then of course they like, Batman gets knocked down, and man, there's some really, I mean, on Twitter, I sent a screenshot when we were talking about like when you said shirts on or off. And then you said intimidated. I'd be intimidated by your hair. And then I said, well, you'd be intimidated by my glorious Batman pecs, because there's a shot in here where like his pecs are like, oh my God, they are way up there. Because he's like,
it's like that McFarlane action figure I showed really at the beginning of the episode.
He's like this. So when he's on the ground, I mean, his chest is just like way up here, and like his head is like back here, and it's like, whoa, man, definitely like he's got some good Batman boobage going on in this episode for sure. So, and then when it comes to Raish, he doesn't want to kill Batman yet, because he wants Batman to see the plan go all the way through, which is, of course, when you have somebody that you wanted to take over the family business, I guess you could say, and he says no, and you're like, all right, well, motherfucker, I mean, if you're going to do this and take all this time, because he's throughout this part 1 and part 2, even when he breaks into the compound, he's so impressed by Batman, how he keeps on coming back. I mean, I guess you could say, like, he's just so impressed by him. So then he's like, all right, well, I'm not going to kill you until you see the plan go all the way through, maybe to be like, hey, you failed. As much as you almost got me, you failed.
Well, and not only, there's also, I almost think it's not just that he continues to, yes, he does continue to be impressed by Batman, but there's also sort of a self-satisfaction in that by continuing to be impressed in Batman, it self-validates Raish's opinion of Batman. So in a way, it's a little narcissistic, because it's like, no, I was right about you. Like, you continue to prove me right about how amazing you are. It's narcissistic. It's that ego on Raish, that it's like, no, you're as good as I thought you were. You are just proving me right for thinking so highly of you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, yeah, perfectly said right there. But and then of course Talia gives Batman a kiss before they take him away, which we knew that was coming. I mean, and it's not the only kiss that we see in this episode too, by the way. We get some lip action that happens, but Let's see. But then, of course, do you think so? Basically, are we assuming that that Talia basically had something in her mouth,
She
transferred
gave
it
him
to
the
his mouth?
pick.
Yeah, she gave him the pick. So that's why you get. Hey, I mean, what's cool about Talia is like, yeah, she believes in what her father is doing, but not the ways in which he's trying to achieve that. I guess you could say. She explains, like
It's his methods.
yeah, his method.
She shares the goal.
Mm-hmm.
She does not agree with the methods. Like
Exactly.
the complete genocide of the human race is not exactly on Talia's dance
No,
card tonight.
not at all. Not at all. So yeah, of course he picks the lock, and then I love how like one of the goons is like, "Why do you think? Hey, why do you want to have two of us watch him?" And then it's like, well, yeah, not even two was enough to watch Batman, of
Hey,
course.
dumbass.
Yeah,
It's Batman.
Batman. And then I love this part too because, like, yeah, again, it's very James Bond like because you got this whole big compound, you got dials and levers and whatever the hell things are going to be happening. You get satellites, screens and all this stuff. And then Batman, there's like an armory. There's just an armory like right there. So he goes, all right, knocks out somebody else, takes the grenades and just throws them in the like this little armory. And it's just fireworks show. I'm surprised nobody got killed. They're okay. Right?
I know. Oh, and by the way, I do not know if this is confirmed by Denny O'Neil or not, but I swear, because the way we keep on talking about the James Bond stuff, Ubu has got to be some kind of homage to Odd Job.
Yeah, probably. Now you just said that, right as you were saying that, I went, oh yeah, I bet you. Yeah, you're right. I think definitely is. He has, and then he's just that guy, and he keeps on calling infidel, and of course Batman's like, I hate it when they're calling me that. Like he's
It's like, you want to know how much I hate hearing you call me that. It's right up there with, and that's 3.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. So then, of course, they fight it out again, and it's short lived. But then, of course, we got Raish. That's just like, all right, it's time for me to. All right, nobody else is taking it down. It's my turn. I'm gonna take off my shirt. I'm gonna have a sword, and we're gonna have a good old fashioned sword fight. Which I was thought, hey, cool. Batman sword fighting with Ray. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about what is directly adapted from Batman 244, like this, I mean, that's even the cover of Batman 244 is the two of them in the desert without their shirts on with swords.
Yeah.
Like it's and how freaking Errol Flynn is this scene in the episode? All I think about is two things. I think about the Adventures of Robin Hood, the Errol Flynn version from the 30s. Have you seen that?
I've seen it a long time ago in like class. I remember seeing that in elementary school or something. Yeah.
Well, because that's also when you go back, and I'm going to reference the Rocketeer again. When you've got the movie that Neville Sinclair is filming at the beginning of the movie, and Ginny is an extra. Like they do that whole like sword fight up the staircase, and because that's from the Adventures of Robin Hood, and so it's just like. And by the way, which they can get away with because that was a Warner Brothers movie, and so you got to look at that going. Because the issue is just the two of them fighting like in the middle of like some, desert, like Egypt or something kind of deal. But the idea of them like dueling up this, winding staircase next to the wall, it's like, oh no, somebody totally went. We're doing the Adventures of Robin Hood with Batman and Ra's al Ghul, and I love it. And the music sounds like that, Remember the music we heard with Beware the Gray Ghost theme, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got that, like the composer, and I forget, it was a he for this episode.
Yeah.
So I forget his name. But you can totally tell that he went back to those like classic 30s swashbuckling movies and played a score where you would have two dudes with shirts off.
Oh yeah.
Sword fighting up a staircase.
Oh yeah, he totally homaged it. And then of course when we get to the end of the battle, this is the clip I wanted to pull out right here because it's just cool because Batman being swift and totally ruining Raish's plans right here. It was just a cool little sequence. See, there's throws right at the satellite dish. Yeah. And what does that do? Brings down the satellite in space. Wow, wow. See, there you go.
Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
dun. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. I love that shot right there, right into his eyeball.
Oh, I always love
yeah.
that.
Dun, 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 dun. And then he was about to do it. He was about to do it.
Victory is yours, detective. Perhaps it is time I am finally one with the planet I so love.
Damn.
Man, I remember that line.
So do I. Yeah, so did I.
Oh, and that shot.
Yeah.
Oh.
So cool. And there he goes. And then, of course, we have Talia, who just like, aw. And then you got the shot of her eyes. Aw. Damn. Those eyes, those crying parts. I love how it just zooms in. There's like a shadow around her eyes, and then all of a sudden the tears form. It's good animation, guys. Good animation.
And of course, you got the hair blowing in the wind, that outfit blowing in the wind. It's just it's so good. And I think it's interesting because Robin's not in the original issue.
Yeah.
So I love the way that they were able to like justify him not being a part of this story because he's got the plane.
He's got to fly the plane, so it's like, yeah, and probably easier for one guy to break into the compound than two. So no, it made sense. They did a good job at that. So then, of course, this is where she explains how she totally gets what her father was doing, but doesn't like the methods, and then of course Batman just lays a nice little a nice kiss on her, and there's like a cool little you got the sun in the background kind of setting. It's a cool little shot as well.
Oh yeah, the sun's you got the rising sun. It's coming up, and you've got like barrel-chested, Batman. Embracing
her.
It's basically the cover of a romance.
Oh yeah, it 100% is, yes, because he's just.
But once again, that is pulled straight from 244.
That's good. That's cool.
Like if you're talking about moments that pulled straight out, you've got the bare-chested sword fight between Batman and Raish, and that's literally like the closing panel of 244.
That's cool.
Is bare-chested Batman embracing Talia. It's
beautiful.
It's like
beautiful.
Yeah.
And then of course they're just like, all right, so obviously back in the plane, flies off. Robin goes, I guess that's it for Raish. And but then of course, is Raish actually dead? Come on, because they do that whole thing where you go back to the pit, and then all of a sudden you see the hand come out, and you hear the ha 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 ha. Yeah, exactly. So Raish, of course, not. But when do we see him again? I'm trying to remember that.
The name of the episode is called Avatar.
Avatar, okay, and that's in the next season, right?
That's in season 2. Yeah.
Okay.
We see him. We see him one more time. We see him 2 more times in season 2, because we have Avatar, and then we get Showdown.
Okay.
Because I love that one because that was my introduction to Jonah Hex.
Yeah, that's right. That's that one. Interesting. But there you go, guys. The Demon's Quest, very top tier Batman the Animated Series right here. It's a good 2-parter. It's a good full story. It's got everything. I mean, it's got spy stuff. It's got sword fighting. It's got mystic, godlike kind of weird things going on, and yeah, it's
desert romance.
Yeah, desert romance, bare-chested Batman. I mean, come on, it's got it all. It really does have it all. It's a great 2-parter right here. But what do we have next week?
Oh, we have such a good one, and it's been too long since I've seen it. But we have his Silicon Soul.
Ooh, there it is. That's right, bringing it back. Hardak. Yeah, that's right. So make sure you guys watch that one, and that'll be another good one to talk about. I mean, yeah, we're almost getting through the first season here. I think we got a few episodes left here. We got some good ones. I think there might be one that might be I can't remember if this one was actually good or not.
Actually, you know what? The last episode of season 1 is going to be like my we're not gonna end season 1 technically on like a winner as far as my opinion is, but because we've got his Silicon Soul, and then I'm really looking forward to talking about Read My Lips. I love Read My Lips.
Yeah, we got him in there. Yeah, the ventriloquist.
Oh man.
Yep. But so there you go, guys. Silicon Soul will be next week. We'll be talking about it right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Go ahead, Scott. Send us off.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find my podcast, the DC Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and you can find the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com. And I posted it yesterday morning. So if you go over to patreon.com/squadcastmedia, where for $5 a month, you can support all the work we're doing over at Squadcast Media. I did produce my Scott Shot special unboxing video of my Black Suit Superman and Nightmare Batman. Hot toys. It clocks in just over 7 minutes. I'm kind of proud of it. I don't do a lot of video editing, so when I do kind of play around in just iMovie, because I'm a noob, it's fun when it works out.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
Yeah, do it, guys. Good stuff. And make sure you guys smash that like, thumbs up. Do all that. We'll be back here talking some more Batman next week at same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Film Junkie Live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We love you. We'll talk to you later.